This is a PSA. Please stay the fuck at home. Like,
please.
For real.
Or if you go out, it's really easy to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Wearing a mask doesn't make you paranoid. It
Nope.
just makes you considerate.
Yeah, exactly. Please be considerate of other people, in this trying time. Again, I understand. You're stir crazy. You don't want to be cooped up at home. I've been in my house for at least 10 years.
I'm like, what?
I get out of the basement once every decade.
The fungin.
The fungin. But no, really, though. Take this stuff serious. You're not paranoid if you're wearing a mask. You're doing your best to help everybody else. I know sometimes it's annoying to breathe in them. I know, you got to eat or whatever, but please at least have a mask on you if you're leaving your house. But if you can avoid leaving the house, I know it's beautiful out. It's going to be beautiful out for the next few days. We got some good weather coming. If you're going to leave the house, wear a mask. If not, and if you don't have to leave the house, just open some windows and don't leave.
Yeah, I know. I go outside just to go work out. I'll go for a walk, and I try to make sure wherever I am that I'm usually the only person there. And you'll be surprised that there's a lot of places that you can just go walk and feel okay and get that essential vitamin D and boost your immune system that way. That's always good. But yeah, well, we could jump into it.
Yeah, I just wanted to start with that.
Thank you. It's much needed.
I've been seeing a lot of shit
Same.
recently. Just do your best for you guys and for the rest of our community. We're hurting in Aurora.
Yeah, Aurora, we just saw...
Arapahoe just shot up to the #1 county of deaths due to COVID-19 here in Colorado. That's above Denver, which has at least 40,000 more people living in it, so that's kind of sad.
Very concerning.
And so, just like I said, just do your part. Flatten that curve. Make sure we're not getting everyone else sick or anything like that. Just because it's maybe not affecting you personally. I've known people whose families have been affected by this, and so I feel for them. And yeah, let's just do our part. But anyway, let's jump into it. Yep. It's your boys, JackJack17N.
Yeah.
Special guest JayT17. I'm never on here.
Oh gosh, shut the fuck up.
Anyway, no, for real though. And welcome to After 8 Hours.
Nice.
That's right. What's on the docket today, Jack?
So, obviously, Abra Community Day was yesterday.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to talk about Abra Community Day. We're going to talk about the recent tournament that you had.
Okay.
Then we'll talk about kind of recent developments that have occurred in the last week since we've recorded.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about the future.
The future. Speaking of Abra, Alakazam, Future Sight, all the good stuff. Did Abra have a special move for community?
So Alakazam had counter as its fast.
That makes sense. I was wondering because I kept evolving them and counter. I thought counter was part of the move pool.
No, Alakazam got counter. Here's
a fun fact that I learned from Pokemon Go's Twitter.
What?
The older an Alakazam is, the larger its head is. So I want to see an Alakazam with the gigantic dome
big
piece.
Dome piece.
Hell yeah, that would be hilarious.
That would be. Huh. And was that like a Pokedex thing?
Yeah. It's like a
the older it is, the bigger
Pokemon
its dome piece
is. Yeah, essentially.
That makes sense.
So you know how those Galaxy Brain memes?
Yeah.
Galaxy Brain Alakazam is old as shit. It's a boomer Kazam.
Shut the fuck up.
So then, all right. Well, do you want to do a recap of community? So my community day was really short.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense of, I played from my bed, and I had some incense going, and I have some decent spawns around my house.
Yeah.
Especially because my character will drift a little bit across the way, so I'll get the King Super spawns, and then it'll just drift back, and sometimes I can drift into the park, the Dragonfly Giraffe Park. I forgot what that park's called.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was able to play from my bed. I got 2 shinies.
Solid.
In 30 minutes of playing.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, oh wow, these rates are pretty good. I should really go out, but then I was also preparing, so I was helping host the regional invitational for Denver.
Oh shit, that's right.
Tournament. That was yesterday. And then so with that, I mean, to be fair or to be completely honest, I didn't do much to help. I was just more support. I mean, I think it's one of those cases where you have too many cooks in the kitchen type deal.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but I was trying to help get prepared for that. Originally, we had it scheduled at 1 before Community Day was announced. Well, before Community Day was announced, we had it scheduled at 1, and we were kind of talking. I was like, well, they postponed March's Community Day, and it's probably going to be, and I was trying to tell everyone, April 25th. And everyone's like, it's okay, we'll figure it out. No, I was like, boy, okay. So they scheduled it at 1, had a mad dash, talked with Silph, got it rescheduled to 4. So that was nice. So everyone still had a couple more hours. But then, like, with a regional invitational, you had to do, like, TM checks, and you had to do, like, make sure everyone's, like, at least in the Discord server, because we're doing everything remotely. We're not meeting anywhere.
Yep.
So if that's the case, you have to DM people. It was kind of nice that 3 of my matches were with Aurora peeps, so, like, I didn't have to add them to my friends list and send gifts or anything. Otherwise, yeah, if it's and I was kind of worried because, like, everyone else is, like, completely random, not in my friends list already, so you have to, like,
delete people.
You have to, delete people if your friends list is full, like Jax is constantly, because he's
I was actually thinking about that.
I was like, bitch,
like
a boss ass bitch. Hell yeah,
bitch.
I love that song with Doja Cat.
Oh yeah, dude, that's plays at least once a day in this household.
Hell yeah. Anyway, so. I'm completely derailing this train, but my point is like we were doing that, and so we originally started at 1, and then we got it able to move to 4, but I was getting prepared for that, and so like I only really played Community Day for like 30 minutes from my bed. Still got 2 shiny, so I was excited about that because I got them both like
back to back,
almost back to back, like the last 5 minutes,
what?
Like in the last 5 minutes of that 30 minutes I was playing. So I was like, you know what? That's cool. I'll take that.
Solid.
That's a win for me.
Win-win.
And it was fairly nice yesterday, right? Weather-wise?
Dude, so are you done with your...
Well, this is my segue.
Yes, it is. It is beautiful.
Okay.
It was beautiful. So my experience was much different. So because it had triple Stardust, like
that dust
I was ready to grind. And I charged up all my phones the night before. I had my battery pack. I had snacks. I had water. I had my mask. I was fucking ready. So I go out to AMC. I'm one of 2 people there at the very start. So as soon as it happens, like all the Illumise and Volbeats vanish and Abras are out. So that's what I was kind of wondering. Because I was like, do I have to buy a pass on every account in order to get Abras? Thankfully, no. And holy fuck, the turnout was beautiful. So Abras were everywhere. Me and that one dude lured them up, and more people started coming, and that's where my concern grew. There was a lot of people in Aurora, so seeing that article this morning about Aurora being higher risk, like from what I saw yesterday, that shit makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I was at AMC and I'm walking about. I have my mask on, and I would like to say easily 80% of the people were not doing a damn thing to be safe. Really, like they were converging, like different groups, different cars. People were meeting up and walking around AMC to play. So if I saw groups together, I kind of treat it like The Happening, where it's like if I saw groups collecting, I distance myself away from them and I still would get my stops. I'd still catch my Abras. And the Abra turnout was ridiculous. So, and the first 3 hours I was playing dual phones. So I was playing my account and I was playing Chris's.
Ooh.
Chris's account within 3 hours got 15 shiny Abra.
Yeah, I saw some people with like 50.
Oh yeah, and he was like, he got back to back to back to back. So if I was playing his account solely, I think he probably would have surpassed me.
Yeah.
Me, I got 25, and I played the full 6 hours on that account.
Okay. But that's because you're dual phoning.
I'm dual phoning, so it's more effort once I set Chris's phone down, because I was like, all right, Chris got a solid amount, but I need to get to Stardust.
Why didn't you just Machamp it and grow 2 more arms?
Goals?
How does Graveler lose 2 arms?
Dude, why does it become a turtle? Like, I don't understand. Like, Golem could have been so much different. But anyway.
I'm sorry.
If I could be a Machamp, I would have definitely did more damage. But, like, looking back on it, what are you going to do with 50 fucking shiny Abras? Nothing. Like,
shred them?
Yeah, like, that's just crappy. And So I was fine with how many I got, and my Stardust, I think I got almost 380 or 90,000 Stardust.
That's big hauls.
From that grind. And I know other players, like we have some notorious players.
Dan dropped out of the regional because he wanted more dust. He's like, dust is more important.
It is.
So,
that's the lifeblood of this game, and if you don't have dust, you can't battle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my thing. I was like, I need to get this dust because I have multiple like adoptee accounts.
Yeah.
And babies, so I want to trade with them. I actually had 6 accounts just this morning all hit ultra.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like, lucky egg that shit, because obviously future topics of today, like the level cap increase potential.
Oh.
I was like, I'm going to get this. And I was hunting, but again, the people were just kind of being more reckless. Thankfully, some of the people I knew had masks, so kudos to like Richie's mom and other folks who were like, I know had masks or like were being safer and would only stay like in their groups. Thank you for that.
Yes.
But a lot of people were not. They're just kind of going about doing whatever. Wasn't nearly to the same capacity that AMC would be.
Yeah.
Which was still good, but I was hoping more people would just be wearing at least a minimum a bandana.
Some kind of face cover.
Some sort of face covering. But the catches were legit. Abras were everywhere. The incense thing worked beautifully. Like on Corey's account for 30 minutes, I got 3 Abras just sitting in my Tahoe while I was eating my lunch.
Nice.
Which is great because I wanted to make sure, say he ever did come back, since he's on sabbatical, that that he would at least have those Abras. And I evolved his Abras that he had really good IVs for. It was all good. And then even after the event ended, because again, I've walked for, I think I got almost 9 miles of walking.
Nice.
Yesterday, so like I was exhausted, so I came home.
Almost as much as me.
Huh?
Almost as much as me.
Yes. And I was not caring about eggs. I wasn't caring about sending gifts. I was just hunting Abras and catching literally everything. And then because there's also double XP for evolutions, I was evolving Abras as I went and shredding them. So I was trying to really maximize
speaking of
my time.
You just reminded me of the eggs. It'd be cool if they had like a little toggle where you auto load eggs.
Well, that's what I thought they were doing because they're saying you could stack them up, but that has not been added yet. So
no,
that was kind of
the feature's still coming. It would have been perfect for community.
It would have been like this. Because I'd forget. Oh shit, my star piece is out. But you would see all the star pieces stacking on the side. Like, look at how many you've used. I'm like, don't insult me, bitch. Just like let me stack them. So, but I grinded as hard as I could, and I saw people. They grinded pretty hard from like 11 to 2.
Yeah, that 3
and
to
then
4 hours.
2 to 5, people stopped, and it was 3-hour incense. So I was like, okay, first 3 hours went. Then I was like, is it a one-time deal? Put another 3. So I was like, perfect. This is amazing.
2 community days in one, essentially.
Yeah. So I was just like, keep hunting. And yeah, some people came through. So I got a rank 1 Abra for PvP. Thank you, Skip. There was 100%. I missed that because I was on my lunch because food takes priority. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it was great for that. It's just, again, people not wearing masks. And when I came home, like neighbors were fucking partying and I'm just looking at them and kids are running around. And yeah, of course I miss not being able to hug like loved ones. Like I don't hug my mom right now because she's older. The guilt would be unmeasurable if I was asymptomatic and past it. But like people are all over each other. And I'm just like, they don't live with each other. So I'm just like, oh my God, the risk factors. And then like these jackasses 2 doors down were like on their bikes, revving engines and fucking racing in the neighborhood till 3 in the fucking morning.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm just like, come on guys. Like this is ridiculous. Like you should be mindful of others. I'm in an older neighborhood, but ultimately like catching all the Pokemon was great. I think the shiny turnout since everything's happened with COVID has been phenomenal.
Okay. I mean, I've been seeing everyone else getting some pretty gnarly catches, full odds shinies, etc.
Oh yeah,
So,
like I had a lucky trade with Miss Moore, and freaking right before met with her, I got a shiny Volbeat, and then after doing our trade, so I got my lucky Rufflet. I then got like, what was it? I got 2 shiny and low on Meowths, like quick. Like one was there at AMC. I got another shiny just walking around, and then as soon as I was pulling into my driveway, got a second Alolan shiny.
ooh.
And so I was like, holy shit, like I traded these. And now I got 2 extra. But I love the turnout. I really hope Niantic keeps the spawn rates up.
Yeah.
To me, I kind of, as we talked about in the past, like that, I really would like other increases, and we can go into that further later.
I think the bonuses that are going on right now should just stay in the game.
Yes.
At least most of them.
Yeah, but that was my community day, and reading Facebook, because I have my own little Facebook page, and I'm on other like Facebook channels or whatever. A lot of people had really good turnouts of like, oh, I caught all these. If you need some, let us know. And I thought that was great. There was no complaints about, man, this event sucked, because there was no shinies.
Right.
And I ran into another like fellow Aurora peep at AMC, and she commented like, it is kind of weird having community day without the community around. She's like, it's really awkward. But
Also, it's like Harry Potter community day.
Those people still play. I don't know about them.
They play, but like it's a solo focused game, or you can grind it solo as opposed to being community led. So
yeah, that'd be whack.
It's a weird game.
Like, granted, that's how Pokemon used to be, but after they brought the community elements, that's what kept me in more. But she was right. Like, it did feel weird not seeing all the typical faces, but at the same time, that also made me feel better that some of those people who I know have kids or know who are older, like elderly folks that play, weren't there, but I'm sure that they were still enjoying the game. So that kind of was also like a little reassurance to me that these people are hopefully being safe. But for the people who were just out and about, just meeting up and doing whatever, please just, again, be considerate. Like, this virus, this pandemic has not passed Colorado. And like you said, if it takes you knowing someone, like I'm one of those people where I have extended family, one of them have died from COVID.
Yes.
And their family is fully quarantined because the husband brought it home, and his wife, who stays at home and she's been working at home from the start, she got it from him because he's asymptomatic, and she was hospitalized, and his entire family was quarantined. Like, it's real. And if it takes, I really hope it doesn't take individuals to have someone in their family get it in order for them to realize, oh shit, this is a thing, for that to happen. Because could you imagine every family across the world losing one person?
Yeah.
That's basically being like decimated. Like, I would not want that.
No, absolutely not. And like I said, I want as many people to get out of this as unscathed as possible. And I would love to get back to, playing, like you said, the community day aspect. I love seeing hundreds of people at AMC coming to our table, and that
it felt weird.
Stealing all of our snacks.
It felt weird not making pins, and not making advertisements for it.
That's true. I mean, like, yeah, we didn't. Well, I mean, it's weird because we usually get those pins made, but even then, we haven't made like PvP pins in like a hot minute either.
It's been a few months,
and so I've been like designing them, and I'm like, oh wait, we're not using these. That's right.
Well,
so
it's once again the stay-home orders are lifted, and like Aurora is not loses its label as like the hot spot for COVID.
Hot spot.
Then I think it'd be good to have the pins ready. But again, like the long term of this is, I definitely plan on wearing a mask for quite some time. I'm already, like, my roommate and I are making masks and giving them out to people who need them, especially, but covering family and friends first, and then getting everyone else, because you can't help others unless you're, like, taken care of too, kind of deal.
Legit.
And but I'm looking forward to just, again, people playing considerately and being mindful of their surroundings. Because, again, I don't want it to I don't want people getting sick and potentially dying from this.
Big facts.
So.
Our world will be changed forever.
Mm-hmm.
So, going on from Community Day, which sounded like success.
Yes.
The rates were insane.
Rates are amazing.
The spawns are great.
The
All these
time
increased
frame was
spawns have been
nice.
good. Having the 6-hour Community Day is actually pretty nice because it gives you flexibility.
Yeah.
Just because the Community Day is from 11 to 5 doesn't mean you have to play from 11 to 5. You can play from 11 to 2. You can play from 2 to 5. You can play...
Well, that's exactly how Richie was. Like,
Yeah.
he showed up at, like, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when he got off of work, and he was still able to get all of his shinies without any worry.
Yeah. It's almost interesting that if you have more time on a Community Day, it feels more like a day as opposed to Community Hour.
Block.
Community block. Anyway, so then... After Community Day, you know, anything else interesting on the horizon before we get into...
Well, no, it's kind of relaxing the fact of not being bombarded by events.
Event after event.
Like, obviously, when everything happened with COVID, like, I remember my calendar was so filled, because I write down activities, including Pokemon.
Yeah.
Every weekend had raids going, every weekend had something happening, so it's been nice to kind of... I'm looking forward to May being the same way of, like, we're going to have a remote community day. But, again, if you want to go get exercise and go catch things, you still can. Just know you'll have this outlet if you don't want to go outside. Which is great. Like, I think that's how the game should have been. And especially with, like, the incense. Like, for people who are in the hospital, for people who aren't as mobile, to have that access from home and have the higher spawn rates, higher shiny rates.
Yeah, I wonder how this is going for like smaller communities or rural communities, because again, I feel like half the time they get shafted the most by certain events because they have one stop in their town or something like that.
The other thing that was fucking stellar was the buddy bringing you items.
Balls and items, yeah.
So my Eevee was bringing me 50, 51, or 52 Pokeballs every 30 minutes.
Legit.
Which is great, because I was running out near the end, because the first 3 hours, I wasn't doing that. Like, I had Eevee walking with me just to get its steps in, but I wasn't checking it for gifts, because I had over 300 Pokeballs, and by the end, I was hurting. Because, again, I'm catching everything I want that Stardust, so... I think that was a great touch, and I really hope, kind of what they did for, like, I forgot what event it was, where they increase how quick your buddy becomes buddies with you.
Oh, yeah, I think...
Like, just increase that. Like, let us get to that walking buddy status quicker.
Mm-hmm.
If you do Poffins, that's definitely a great thing. And I saw that they adjusted all the boxes to have Poffins now instead of like max revives and things like that, which is a lot nicer because you don't really need revives if people aren't raiding. So I think that was another nice touch that, again, I don't know if many people noticed that, but that's something definitely I noticed.
What do you think of the rotating box, 1 Pokecoin boxes? Beautiful.
Keep that shit going.
Do you think they should keep that?
I think it should be more variety.
Okay.
Or have a few options. But I think that's a great touch, especially for the, as Linda called it, the filthy casuals. Or, again, like jokingly, but just the like day-to-day players or maybe once-a-week players that they could still get something if they're not actively fighting gyms and getting coins. At least the few coins they have could still be worth something.
Yeah.
I think that was great. I like the custom boxes. And I kind of wish that they do more with that in the future. So, but yeah.
Right on. And then, let's see. I'm trying to think. I don't have any sick interview questions for you, but...
Well, how with the tournament stuff.
Okay.
Do you like how the stuff is going? Obviously, you commented with the friends.
So the remote...
And adding that, do you think maybe it would be good to increase the friend caps or...
increasing friend caps would help everybody.
Or have, like, an acquaintance.
Acquaintance.
Yeah, just like
you're not really friends with that dude.
Like a battle buddy.
That guy. Okay.
Yeah, like.
Maybe. I think a friend cap should be implemented anyway, because I don't run risk of ever filling my friend box very often, but I do know a good number of people do. And I know content creators, like, Trader Tips Nick or whatever, like, he wants to connect with his fans, with people that have supported him the entire way. So, like, he's always running out of friend spots, too. So I think a friend increase would be nice. I think they should keep the whole, like, all you have to do is be good friends to be able to remote battle. I don't think that's a big issue.
Yeah, that one's good.
And so, like, I still want global trading.
There's literally no reason not to have it.
For real. Yeah, sure.
If I could battle anyone around the world, why can't I trade you?
Yeah, exactly. And I know, like, that diminishes the importance of regionals or some rare spawns in other areas. But, like, at the same time, like, and it opens up that can of worms where, like, people will sell trades or whatever globally. And I know that's always going to be an issue in any game that has trading or whatever. There's always going to be some kind of black market for it. But there's already Pokemon Go black market, There's already, like, you can go buy accounts. You can go, like, have someone will be like, hey, I'll catch you 50 shiny Abra on community day, and then they just throw it on their spoofer account or something.
Well, and I think it's like that unnecessary, unwarranted fear that players had before trading came.
Yeah.
I remember talking to some trainers, and they're like, yeah, as soon as this happens, people are going to trade all this, and we're going to have too much of this. And literally, people did a lot of trading at the start, but then it immediately stopped, or it leveled off.
Yeah.
Like, it high at the start, and then now it's just like, it's hard to even get contact with lucky friends to trade.
Yeah. Like,
it requires effort and coordination.
Yeah, could you imagine if you could just send that lucky friend that you haven't seen in 3 months to a year, or whatever. Could you imagine you just, like, send a trade request to that person wherever they're at? They get it on their phone, and it's like, oh, I can trade. We can lucky swap.
Or it could be like how it is in the game. Like, if one element, if they could take it from the game, like the mobile game, the real game, where you put your Pokemon to a box, and when the trainer is ready, they can access it to do that trade.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I think that'd be nice. Awesome, like almost like a Poke Locker, and you just, like, put it there.
My Amazon locker.
Yeah, you just put it there, and when they're ready to do the trade, because you don't know.
Pikachu is ready for pickup.
Yeah, like, you don't know when they're gonna have that day if they're doing special trades lined up.
If they're also taking sabbatical from Pokemon Go.
But it'd be cool that you put your Pokemon there, and when they finally acknowledge it, the trade could happen on its own.
Yeah, because I'm lucky friends with someone in St. Louis, and they're not on any of my Discords because we met them at GoFest.
Yeah, I remember. Was it that couple or what? Yeah.
And so I'm just like, well, we'll never be able to trade because I'm never going to St. Louis on my own accord anytime soon.
And I'm looking through my friends list now, and I'm like, with these stay-home orders, I don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
Who I have lucky friends with, and I'm like, I just need to delete them because others are coming through the grapevine like, Jack, I'd like to trade with you, and they have something good I want, and I'm like, so let's build up friendships. But yeah.
So going back to the battling stuff, first of all,
yes,
honestly, I haven't battled in a while, so this is my first time seeing some of the battle UI upgrades. It's like cleaner. I like the look of it a lot better. And it was pretty nice to battle because, like, I had no idea what the this is a Voyager Cup. Are you familiar with the setup for it?
I haven't looked at tournaments.
Cool.
In quite some time.
Voyager Cup was interesting. You pick for first gen, so you pick out of your 6 Pokemon, one has to be from Gen 1, from Gen 2, from 3, from 4. They grouped up 5, 7, and 8.
Okay.
So because there's only a handful of Alolan and one Galarian Pokemon in the game,
right?
So they tacked those on to the 5th gen, and then your 6th Pokemon is a wild card that you can pick from any region, except for there was a good list of Pokemon that it couldn't be because there's just some overpowered Pokemon in Great League. So, like, if you're running, you can have, like, Altaria, for instance, couldn't be your wild card. If you wanted to run Altaria, it had to be your 3rd gen Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
So there's like a good list, but it was an interesting tournament. I had no idea what any sort of meta there would be.
You're like, get something.
So I ran in there with my very unorthodox team. Like I run Golurk a lot because people still don't know its typings.
It's
So
Ghost and Ground.
Ghost Ground. So I went against Kyle, Turtle Master.
All right.
I went against Turtle Master, and he didn't know what it was weak to. And he was like, I don't know what... Because, like, when you see it, and if for those that don't know what Golurk is, it looks like a robot.
Yep.
He looks like a big-ass
So
robot, so you
think
might
it's like
think
a steel type?
maybe even electric. But he's Ghost and Ground.
He's about
And
to
then,
fuck your day.
I don't even have a second move on him, but he does fucking work. Like, in 3...
Do you have it with Dynamic Punch?
No. It's
Or like
Shadow Punch.
Ooh.
So, and that shit charges really quick. And then, like, I honestly don't even know what its quick move is, but it's nasty. It punches everybody down. So, anyway, that one cracks me up because, again, I went into this no meta understanding. I didn't know what people would run, but, like, it turned out my Golurk actually worked well against most people's Pokemon. Because, like, I just based it off of what I remember from Great League meta in the Go Battle stuff. You know, you see a lot of Azumarils, you see a lot of Altaria, you see a lot of, like, Hypno was pretty big in this one. Shit like that. And so I was like, you know what, let me just kind of throw everyone curveballs. And it worked out pretty well. As far as the mechanics go in terms of, like, battling in general, I do, like I said, I do like the good league stuff. I think, or good friends, rather. I think it's important that... I think remote tournaments will keep flourishing because it's pretty nice to be able to hop into a tournament that has, for those that are really into it, I'm not quite that into it, but like people want to jump into like a 60-man tournament in Seattle or something like that, and you can do it. You can do it with no problem.
Okay.
People want to jump into like today. There's a tournament in Pueblo, and people are like, hey, can we get more people to join this tournament in Pueblo? Because they only had like 4 people, and then they ended up getting enough people to have a decent turnout. So I think that's really cool on the remote side. I do like or miss the in-person tournaments, just because, again, it's all the community stuff, right? It's good to see people. It's good to support. I love it.
You could get hyped. You could get drinks.
Yeah, it's good. I love to support our local businesses with those tournaments. Like, I miss... it's unfortunate we haven't been able to do more with Piper in. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Heroes misses us.
Oh, yeah. When I went in there, they're just like, yeah, when things go back to normal, you guys are going to come back? I was like, yeah, man, we'll be back. Like, trust.
Shot their dreams down and said, hell no.
Like, never again.
We're remote only from now on. Anyway, I think the systems they have in play for remote tournaments... and being able to battle remotely will help us towards the future. And I hope they don't change it. I hope that it's like similar to our actual workflow in our offices. Like after COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever starts to lessen, like similar to having to change our workflow. Like we don't all have to go back to the office. Maybe some of us can continue working from home. It's the same thing with Pokemon Go. Like maybe it doesn't have to go all the way back to what it used to be because, you know, change is good, you know?
Yeah, especially if it's like helpful.
And this has been really helpful. So I think the remote tournaments would be pretty nice because then we can also do more like for fun tournaments that way. We can also do more test tournaments. I'm also looking into like how to do it. You know, we can do more with it instead of just like, because the way it's set up right now is I'm just looking at my Silph screen. This is who I'm battling. Send them a battle request. We do our 3 battles or whatever, and then that's it. Like we can maybe add a video element to it later. We can do like a big Zoom call and then battle each other, so we can have like a party, a virtual party while battling each other. We can even do that in Discord. I know how to share. You can share like video and stuff.
Really?
You can video call in Discord even. You know, so we can get like our tried and true people in there, Fresh and you know, Skip even, everyone that usually comes out to our tournaments. We can get them in there and we can have a good time that way.
Awesome.
And it's nice to have that accessibility, the convenience of it.
Okay.
That's not to say like, you know, in-person tournaments will come back eventually, and I think I'm really looking forward to that. But I think the remote tournaments have been pretty successful. Though it's kind of a double-edged sword in that regard, because like it also means like because we can have more and because we can do more, people are trying to do more. So again, some of those really dedicated PvPers do like 7 tournaments a month or whatever because they're just jumping into people's tournaments worldwide. So like, so you'll see it on the stats. You know how it shows like what kind of trainer you are, like rival, challenger, ace, etc. You'll see people's rank increase tenfold because they're taking part in as many tournaments as possible. So on one hand, that's really cool. On the other hand, it makes casual players like me look even worse because I only take part in 1 or 2 tournaments a month.
Yeah.
And like again, that's a personal thing. It doesn't bother me, but I could see where it could kind of lower morale of some trainers that, maybe they're just not into looking like lesser than of a trainer, which again, that's really personal preference. But but anyway, going back to it, I think I think it's a good system, and I hope it kind of stays. I am still curious to see how Silph evolves, because I'd like to see other tournament formats.
Yeah.
Because like right now we have Swiss style. I'd really like to see like double limb tournaments. I'd like to see team battle tournaments. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Well, because wasn't that like a style they mentioned? Like you would be able to battle together.
Yeah. Like, you imagine 2-person battles or 2v2 battles in Pokemon Go? I think it'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be crazy.
Because then you can, like, you'd have
to
like set your
tag
target and
teaming
stuff
things
like that.
of like this one.
Yeah. And there'd be a good kind of natural way for the battle system to evolve, too. So,
yeah.
Because you'd start implementing different, like, status helping or status effects. You could start doing, whatchamacallit.
Putting bitches to sleep.
Putting bitches to sleep. Poison. Shit like that. So...
Or confusing people and watching their Pokemon attack each other.
That would be funny. Just slap the shit out of each other.
No, that would be awesome, and that again would be a next step for the game. I guess any other comments toward the tournaments that you could think of? Like, what's the next one coming up?
They just announced the Forest Cup. It's got a cool badge. Like I said, I want to keep doing more designs for it.
Still design. It's something. Keep yourself active. That's important during this.
I've been designing stuff. We just haven't been producing anything off of them. But anyway, so I don't remember what the rules are for it. I don't think they've announced that quite yet.
Okay.
Or maybe they did. I just haven't seen it. But yeah, I think it's called the Forest Cup, and it looks pretty interesting. And like that stuff will just keep going. As strong as possible. They're still looking to send people to Worlds. I don't know how that's going to work, if it's just all going to be a remote tournament from this point on. It was interesting to see that we had a different regional winner than I had expected. Because we have, here in Denver, we have all those mega tournaments, and there's usually a handful of people that are always at the top or are always winning those tournaments. But then there was one that for the regional tournament, his name was Elder Scion, so congrats to him. He had a very unorthodox team himself, and he ended up winning the whole tournament off of it. So he beat some of those more hardcore PvP grinders.
Nice.
So
I just did a quick lookup of the tournament. So the Forest Cup will only be Pokemon with grass, bug, fire, water, or electric types. And with the exception of Pokemon, they must be in Gen 2, 3, and 4, or 5. And Shadow Pokemon, Genesect, and Tropius are not allowed in the Forest Cup due to their availability constraints. And in Tropius' case, their wider variety.
Yes.
Tropius is busted. Tropius is amazing. I love that dino. But yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be pretty interesting for that. It looks like the mountains.
Yeah, I like the badge.
Or it looks like evergreen trees together, something like that. So that's pretty sweet. But yeah, that'll be a fun one. The Peril of the Woods. Intriguing. That's what they have on the little advertisement. But okay.
But yeah, so that's kind of the tournament PvP scene. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it feels like it hasn't really changed too much outside of those quality of life improvements.
Yeah, the COVID compromises.
From the tournament organizing standpoint, it's a lot easier to do remote tournaments because I don't have to set up with the businesses. I don't have to produce pins. I don't have to. I mean, I still can, but I mean. It's a lot less work, but I do miss doing that work for in-person tournaments. So
yeah, and again, it's always nice to see people's faces and having drinks with each other, getting food, and just especially I always enjoy the kickback afterward because it's the one time we all have different schedules. So it's that one time once a month we're able to all meet up and just like shoot the shit with each other. So, all right, well, going forward with the future.
The future.
So the biggest thing kind of that's been on my mind lately has been the level increase for us as Pokemon trainers. It was funny because I was like, when I ran into Miss Moore and everyone were talking about just kind of the level increase, and they're telling me how one person is calling themselves a Pokemon master in Aurora. I won't reveal who it is, but they are definitely.
Oh, I know this person.
I'm sure you could take a wild guess and be correct, but they're self-proclaimed Pokemon masters.
Self-proclaimed Pokemon
and
masters.
They're like, oh yeah, it's because I have like 2 times the level 40 XP.
Oh, okay.
And
baby
I'm
numbers,
like, that's cool. Like, but with the numbers that have been mined from whatever the data, it shows that our level is not going to be a max of 40 anymore. It's going to go up to 50.
50.
And that kind of brings a lot of questions up of how much XP do you need to get there? It took almost 20 mil to get to
20 million for 40.
To 40. So what is it to get to 50? Is it gonna
100 mil?
Is it 100? Is it gonna go in increments of like maybe 10 mil per level to 41, 42, etc., all the way up to 50, or what? So there's been a lot of speculations, and some people have been pretty adamant to think it's going to be exponential, where it's going to get up to 100. But I was like, Niantic doesn't follow patterns. Like, very rarely do they follow patterns. So I don't think.
I hope it's like 500 million.
That'd be insane. But again, Niantic can do what they wish. They can make it almost an unobtainable thing to keep the dedicated players, or they can make it somewhat reasonable so even the casual players have something that they can aspire to.
Yeah, I mean, the game's going on 4 years. 40's been the level cap since day one.
Yeah.
I think if you made it something ridiculous, it'd probably turn away some casual players, but it'd give the hardcore grinders something to shoot for.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, that's the trade-off, right? Like, who do you?
Yeah. And so the hope that I have with them increasing the level cap is also just increases in other items to help with leveling and help with developing your Pokemon. So we're seeing now that they introduce the Elite TM. That's a new item. And again, people are just dropping that shit like immediately. So because of Community Day, you're able to buy a box that had the Elite TM in it.
Yep.
That was a nice touch. People are using them in rapid fire. Like, someone made sure their Lucky Mewtwo maxed out had Shadow Ball and Psy Strike.
Yeah.
Great moveset, sure. But like, there might be other Pokemon in the future that you might want to do something with, and you kind of already took out your ace in the hole for that Pokemon.
I suppose. I mean, they'll make Elite TMs
more accessible
pretty easily.
Yeah. Which is another thing is like, with that, I hope that they do something of that nature. We've talked about in the past, like how they have Star Piece or Stardust. Can you find Star Pieces?
Yeah.
That's an item in the actual Game Boy games. It'd be cool to find chunks or have your buddies find better items or have buddies have more rewards. So that way it gets more people utilizing other systems of the game that would help your gameplay as it is.
You know, it'd be insane. I know how you get weekly rewards. Like, so you walked 100,000 kilometers in a week or whatever. You're insane. You know, you get those weekly rewards, which is like usually like Stardust and stuff, right?
Yes, Stardust and a fuck ton of Pokeballs.
What if they changed it to where you got like 100 Stardust every kilometer you walked? Like
I think that'd be great.
Like actively, like they help people be more active in the game.
Yeah.
Like, you're walking, and while you're walking, you don't have to wait for the weekly reward. Just while you're walking,
you're getting rewarded. I think that'd be a good incentive for them, And again, we want to put that out there in the universe for Niantic to pick up, or that one intern who's been listening.
Yeah.
We know you're listening. But I think that'd be a great reward system, or to me, just being more active with Go Battle and seeing the changes there. Like, I really want them to do, like, I appreciate the gesture of putting, like, Landorus as an encounter.
Mm-hmm.
But for God's sake, I've encountered 15 Landorus doing the 4 consecutive wins.
Yeah.
Or the 4 wins out of 5. And I'm done with Landorus. They need to they need to shrink that pool a bit. Maybe like your first one will be a Landorus, you catch it,
and
you're
then after
good.
that, it's like a 15% chance to run into it, or
something.
less,
like 10%. Let the other Pokemon who are only accessible being in PvP be in PvP. There's no need to have.
Did you get your Lucha Pika yet?
No one. I want someone to submit a photo of Pikachu Libre, whatever they named it, because I think even Pokemon Go on Facebook, they had little Pikachu in his little Lucha Libre outfit.
Yeah.
Of like, show off your Lucha Pikachu. And the bulk of the comments, I think I went through like 200 plus.
Oh gosh.
Was just like, how the fuck am I supposed to obtain this? I'm stuck at level 7 or I'm stuck at rank 7 or 8. And I can't get past this. And they're like, and I've been battling and I keep doing this. And I lose a few battles and I drop fucking 30 spots. And I've seen trainers where they drop almost like, they drop that much and they have like their rank 8, but they have 18,000 or 1,800 as their rank, as their score. And I'm like, once you get to a rank, I'm glad they don't drop you down, because that would be more insult to injury. But fucking 3,000 wins, like in their warped little numbering system, that I feel is like really fucking hard to achieve. Unless you're using only meta Pokemon, you've learned the ways.
You sold your soul to the PvP.
Yeah, like and not to mention, like, is Pika Libre or Lucha Pikachu really worth it?
Flying Press is dope, dude.
Is that the move it knows?
Yeah, it knows only 2 Pokemon know Flying Press.
Okay, so if it's that, well, but like, is the Pikachu stronger? Does it have a higher defense?
No, that's Pikachu.
Like, to me, that's not worth it. Like, yeah, you can get that's awesome move, and I would love to have a Pikachu with it, but like, is it PvP worthy?
Sure.
I highly doubt it. But I think the thing that's been working my nerve again is more Landorus. Is the fact, like, or Tempig. I don't need Tempig. There's going to be a fucking community day for him, so just take out the starters.
What if there's not?
Who cares? Like, I've been hatching plenty of them.
What if there's not?
I think, honestly, they shouldn't have prize Pokemon be available in eggs at all.
Fair.
I think that's idiotic.
So do you think the Go Battle Pokemon should be exclusive to Go Battle? Like those Pokemon?
Like Scraggy and, who else?
Lucha.
Scraggy, Lucha, and, who was the other one? Huh?
I don't know.
No, there was one other that they just brought in. Oh, Rufflet.
Oh, yeah.
That would be fine. Keep those guys, but it should just be those guys who you're fighting for.
But what about Snivy?
No.
Tempig?
No.
Oshawott?
No.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's upset me because I keep getting those starters, and I'm like, I have plenty. I don't need them, especially because I'm hatching eggs, and I'm getting them from those eggs. So why the fuck are they in a... Why did I just work to get 4 out of 5 wins to get it? That's dumb. Or they should do like they did for the Meryl event, where they gave like a window and then you could get shiny Meryl.
Yeah.
Like Miss Moore, I think she got 4 of them, and I'm like, hell, that's awesome. It was worth that investment of battles. And she admitted that I used a raid pass so I could just do 2 consecutive or 2 wins out of 5 to get it. And then they were even nicer. So if you fight in the raid pass one, you could battle more than 5 times. They want you to at least get 1 win. In that. And I was like, that came from people bitching at them.
I spent money and I lost every battle.
Yeah, like, they realize like, oh shit, we got to give these filthy casuals something.
So I 1000% agree with you that the prize pool for encounters in Go Battle needs to be better because it is trash.
It's trash.
It's absolute trash. And I understand where they're coming from in terms of letting raid Pokemon in, especially with our current situation, because they don't have remote raiding yet.
Correct.
But, you know, like, at the same time, like you said, if I have to run into Landorus 15 times and not even get an opportunity to get more Scraggy or something, which I'm still looking for a better one, or Rufflet, which I'd like.
I've only gotten
more
one
bird Pokemon. You know, like that's asinine because that's the only place I can get those Pokemon unless I trade with someone that was lucky enough to get more. And then they always want like, I want your shiny Mewtwo and I want your shiny Rayquaza and I want this and that
and I'm like suck a dick.
Yeah,
like, you're not getting that. Yeah, like
blow me.
Yeah, I'm like.
So I mean, like ultimately, that prize pool needs to change, and like it's funny because like that problem exists in other games as well. Just in general, like I'm talking about, like, you know, Destiny 2. I use that as an example all the time because I play it pretty regularly.
Okay.
There's this pinnacle PvP experience in that game called Trials.
Heard of Trials.
And so with Trials, if you like, you get a card and you have to go quote flawless to get the top tier. And that's 7. So that's 7 matches that you win with your party of 3. And so like, but you can farm a lot of the gear that you can get only from Trials. You can farm it after like 3 wins. So like the whole gameplay loop and the whole ecosystem is busted because the rewards when you get that flawless aren't worth it. It's not worth it for me to grind 7 wins in a row if I can just grind the 3 wins in a row and get the same gear.
Yeah.
And so, like, similarly in Pokemon Go, like you're saying, in the Go Battle, like, I don't go battle much anymore because I'm sick of that nonsense. I'm sick of sitting there like, come on, I don't want Landorus. I don't want, like, I got it.
Yeah.
And again, I understand, but like you said, it should be like account-based. Okay, I encountered one Landorus. I even caught it. Cool. That should drop to, like, I'll be generous, 50%. 25% or whatever. I would prefer it to be 3%, you know? But
yes,
like,
or 1.
That should drop to where I don't have to encounter it every time. If I encounter it like after 15 tries once, I'm like, okay, that's fine. But if I encounter it every time, cool. And it's the same thing with the starter Pokemon. Like, yes, Tepig, Snivy, Oshawott in this case are fun. They'll do it when the new starters come out. Like, they're neat because like they're not quite as readily out there per se. They're not quite as common.
I see Snivy and Tempig all the time here.
Fair, but I mean, like, when they first came out though, like, because it's the new starter Pokemon, we haven't had the community days for them yet. People still want those, you know, they're popular in that case. I imagine that was their thinking
motive
in terms of throwing it in there, but it's a bad reward, especially because, like you said, I can hatch those Pokemon.
Yes.
Like, it'd be one thing if I could hatch Rufflet and Scraggy, and that would also lessen the importance of Go Battle. But like, if you're making those Pokemon exclusive to that, make it to where they're actually attainable.
Yes.
I can't even encounter one.
No, like I didn't get Rufflet until I was rank 8.
Yeah.
And you can start getting Rufflet at rank 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why? And it was after like almost, how many battles?
Between 7 and 8 is a lot of battles.
Yeah. So it wasn't even until I got to 8 and that I got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is stupid. Like, why did it take so long? And that's why I wanted it. I wanted Rufflet. And he just never showed. And then one day he did. And I was like, praise.
Yeah, finally.
But like, it's like, it was so much investment for it. And then also, obviously, the battle mechanics. That was one of the complaints I heard yesterday. Was they're like, I tried a battle and it kicked me out, or I've had it to where the screen, like, here's a quick download of all the fuckery I've encountered in Go Battle. The screen stays white for more than a few seconds. I'm waiting patiently, like, just looking like I'm watching paint dry. As soon as it shows, my opponent gets my Pokemon to more than half because it's been tapping it the whole time. And my Pokemon just standing there looking like a dumbass. The other one is I'm tapping, nothing's happening, and then they get 1 or 2 charge moves off and my Pokemon's dead, or it doesn't even acknowledge that I pressed a shield.
Yeah,
Third,
the lag issues are huge.
for some reason, I click the edge of the program and the app like minimizes, comes up, and the screen doesn't acknowledge I'm touching it anymore. Fuckery. So then I can't charge, I can't do my special moves, nothing. Fourth is I've had people where they just stand there and they're looking at me and I'm attacking, and the game closes out and doesn't even acknowledge that there was a victor. I've had that. And so, and again, I'm a lot more patient than most people are.
Yeah.
And I've some people, they'll encounter one of those 4 scenarios, maybe even a wider thing, and they're just like, I'm done with this forever. And so I kind of hope Niantic gets more, uses some of their income to improve that infrastructure for battling, because clearly we know they can.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of updates and fits for this with everything with COVID, so I think that'd be one other area to just make sure to get kind of in sync.
I think the biggest issue is it feels like a big chunk of that problem is unfortunately on the players and their phones and their like connections, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where the lag's coming from. Because that's most of that shit is like some form of lag, right? And I've run into that a few times. I haven't had that many bad experiences with it. When I do my Go Battle League battles, I think I've only really encountered some lag here or there, but never I think I had the white screen once. I just chalked it up to that was nonsense, but I know those problems exist and I know they're really bad because in our tournaments, if you lag, there's in our first round there was a dispute yesterday.
Oh wow.
And I don't really run into disputes because I usually can just watch people's screens and make sure everything's going fine. But anyway, it's all just lag based because people are in different areas, maybe with weaker Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi or our internet in our area hasn't been too bad. But I know some places around Denver, they've had more crashes. I know one part of Aurora, literally all their internet just went out.
That was
for a whole neighborhood for a couple hours. So that shit kind of sucks. Some people are on Wi-Fi, some people are just on their phone, and they might only have 2 or 3 bars of service wherever they're at. So there's a lot of variables that go into it, and that's hard to track down. But I do think, like you're saying, Niantic can do something about the infrastructure, about the server access that our phones have to try to even that playing field a little better. It would be nice. I would like to see a lot more development of it. Because I think PvP is a fun feature. Then, yeah, I'd love to see more people get into it. But a lot of people, they hear these horror stories, they're scared to do it. They're scared to... I don't want to run into someone that's just going to do the airplane mode trick and fuck my shit up. Or I don't want to run into cheaters in that sense.
The triple shielder fucks?
Yeah.
Fuck those people.
I don't want to run into this or I don't want to run into that. And you're just man, I understand. But if you can get past any of that, it's a fun experience, or it can be a fun experience.
Oh, yeah. I've had plenty of good battle days where I can get through my battles beautifully. I'll sit up on my couch and I just start hitting folks, and it'll be those sweet victories where they should have killed you, but you got that one tap in.
Yeah, that happened to me in so many matches yesterday.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing is I kind of wish it was where Niantic would kind of take some of Silph's idea when it comes to the tournaments of how bad did you lose and use that in how they rate you.
Oh, yeah.
So if all your Pokemon got wiped out and they were flawless, that drops you more rank as opposed to you were just a fraction.
Some way to monitor your performance in those matches. Because there are some I rarely lose matches where I just get demolished.
Yes.
I think most matches that I lose, it's their last Pokemon is on at least a fourth or less of their life, and I could have won that maybe, or whatever. But but I would like that because other online games do that. They do performance based analysis in terms of where they place you, especially if you're doing like competitive modes, like ranked modes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like in League of Legends, like if you perform better in a game, your MMR, your matchmaking rating will go up higher than if you just won the game but someone else carried you essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see that in Pokemon Go. Especially Go Battle, because that's you get ranked for that. You're doing ranking. You rank 7, rank 8. Like, and it's not easy. It's not an easy grind. Like once you hit, I forgot what the threshold is, but once you can start losing,
I think that's like
so 6?
6 or 7.
Yeah. Either way, like once you get to that threshold, it's like your training weights are off and you're left to the wolves, man. You do whatever.
They're like, good luck, everybody.
Like you either Rock Lee it or you get demolished. Like it is what it is. And again, that comes like it's kind of crazy because it comes to a pretty advanced understanding of the game or a meta, for instance. Because like in certain leagues, certain Pokemon are just going to be stronger. Great League, like I said, Azumarill, Altaria are usually staples. All the way up to your Master League, where you're going to see nothing but like Giratina,
Mewtwo.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like I find that less fun, which is why I find the Silph Arena tournaments more fun, because they have stringent, like, you can only use these typings or you can only use these things, and there's certain bans to just make it more interesting. And I do enjoy that aspect of it. It would be nice to see Go Battle League be able to implement that kind of thing too. Like if they had certain tournaments, like, oh, let me see your Gen 4 tournament. Like you can only use Gen 4 Pokemon or something like that. And I'm not saying that in itself would be fun, but something along those lines.
It would definitely break up the monotony of it, because a lot of people are using the same things over and over again, and it kind of loses its fun. Mm-hmm. But again, if you're just in it for a challenge, I went through the trial and error. I try not to do the research on like what Pokemon's meta.
Yeah.
I like to explore it and find my own options.
Yeah.
But again, that's where if they did recalibration to make the Pokemon all worthwhile and be like it's a free for all, that's what I would want. I'd want it to be like, okay, you have a Alolan Marowak. It doesn't get to like the 3,000 plus, but what if it could? Yeah. How would that compete? Like that'd be something I would use gladly. Mm-hmm. And some of these things like, oh, I can Shadow Ball you real quick, bitch.
The only Pokemon they need to recalibrate is Shuckle.
Yeah.
If I could use Shuckle in any battle or tournament.
That if I saw a Dunsparce and I'd just be shook, like, what are you doing here? Like,
I want to run a Dunsparce.
What does it do? Or like Nincada, Ninjask, like make other Pokemon more viable.
Yeah.
I think it would make the game interesting.
Well, speaking of which, so we're moving our level cap to level 50. Does that mean our Pokemon go to level 50?
I think they'll just translate the max ones to what's there, because if they were to do the candies, like for legendaries, that'd be much harder. Which again, Niantic, they're sadistic, so they might be all for that.
Oh, so you're thinking like, if I have a level 40 Pokemon, it's automatically going to be pushed to whatever the max is? Like if I'm a nutcase and I have enough experience to get my trainer level to level 50 and I have a maxed out Pokemon, you're saying that maxed out Pokemon comes with me to level 50?
Yeah, because if not, then they'd have to recalibrate all the battle systems.
Yeah.
Great League couldn't be something to where it's just 1,500 or 1,500. Or if they kept it, it'd be kind of lame, because you can have Pokemon that can get to like 6,000. Then you have that, like it just seems like it'd be there'd be no need to do Great or do Master if you could just stick at that league, especially now that you can choose.
They might just introduce like another on top of Master or something, or like they'll change Master. They'll give it a different cap, and then they add a top one.
Well, then that was another thing, is talking with like the Moors. They're like, if they increase it, is there going to be a higher tier of raids?
Yeah, like 6 tier, champion tier, like, or challenger tier,
god tier, class S.
I want to see.
Don't know.
I was This is completely unrelated.
This is
But
the
I want
future
them
talk.
to
We could do
expand.
whatever
I
you
want them to expand the game even more. I want different balls. I want like net ball, premier ball. Well, I mean premier balls.
I want you to be able to find the
luxury
nuts
ball.
and make your own Pokeball.
Make your own Pokeballs. That'd be sick if I didn't have to choose. Like I don't use Great Balls because I don't like how Great Balls look. That's literally the only reason I don't use them.
Understandable.
And if I ever use them, I use them on Pokemon I know for sure I'm gonna shred. So I'm just like whatever.
You're all dead.
Get this shit out of here. Because I mean I pick up a lot of Great Balls. I feel like I exclusively use Pokeballs. I'll use Ultra Balls sometimes.
Yeah.
But like all my shinies I try to get in Pokeballs.
Because you're a monster.
So I'm just like, hey, that shiny Abra that will, if it breaks out, it disappears forever. Pokeball. Fuck
like,
yeah, dude. Hell yeah. What's that?
You're
I'm
wild.
not even going to bury it. Pokeball, you know.
Not Pokeball.
Oh, what's that? It's like 1200 CP. You know, like.
Is that a legendary boss?
Yeah, Pokeball. I did like that when they added legendaries to research boxes because I could use 50 Pokeballs to try to catch my Articuno or whatever.
And that's the other thing with like jumping quick second back to Landorus is that thing is hard to catch.
Oh, it's annoying.
And I'm not.
It's annoying as shit.
And like I try not to bury it, but like goddamn, like it's just annoying, and it's stressful in that regard. Sounds like a Remy.
Smell bitch.
You smell the correct.
I smell bitch. He smells good though. Yeah.
Yes. But it's one of those things where if they were able to introduce you being able to make your own Pokeballs, I think that'd be a great touch to the game. But again, I just don't want them to have to. If they increase the level cap, then it would be recalibrating of everyone.
Yeah, and I think that's one big reason why they haven't. It's like one of those things like, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna use an anime reference. You know, never mind. No, I'll use it. Okay, have you ever watched Bleach?
No.
I have.
You know Bleach? Okay, Remy knows.
I know Bleach.
Remy's a weeb, so he definitely knows.
Yeah.
So my favorite character from day one was Urahara Kisuke. He's a beast. All right.
Remy acknowledged that,
and the way they set it up is like every character ends up having like their super mode, which is like Bankai, is what it's called. So they talked about this character's Bankai.
Okay.
And they're like, it's too powerful to ever show you. So then, like, the writer just set himself up for failure because he decided to never show his Bankai until, like, way later in the manga. And then, like, it's completely underwhelming because it's just, like, you built it up. You said it was going to be badass, and it's way too strong to ever show. And then once you show it, I'm just, like, I'm expecting, I don't know.
Well, it was also because, like, by that point, Bankais were everywhere. And
it was a completely, it completely devalued it actually coming out. So like I feel like that's the same way. Like it's I don't know. I'm curious because like if they were gonna increase the level cap, they probably should have done it like 2 years ago. Because now there's so many different systems in play. If I increase the level cap to 50, then again your battle leagues get fucked unless they introduce or they slip in some kind of like Premier League
and
like,
see.
whatever.
But that's where I just want the level 50 cap to be perks for the trainer who's worked hard. So, like, them being able to do better things. Because what they mined out for prizes or items you get once you reach that level are basically trash. It's like, oh, you get 30 Ultra Balls. Cool, thanks. Like, why not I get to a certain level?
Well,
why don't you, by default, increase my bag space
those were
to X?
Guesses.
Yeah. Like, in those guesses, were trash. Like,
dude, I'm telling you, just give me 2 more... unlimited incubators.
That's been my number one fucking comment.
You should have got one at level 40.
But the money, Jack.
They still make money. To me, it would be like perks would be like you get an increased number of infinite incubators. You also get to carry more eggs. Or again, just level 50, maybe level 45, you get to start breeding your own Pokemon.
Yeah.
That would be kick ass.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Because those would be, again, special things for the trainer. And to be like, you worked your ass off. You can breed Pokemon. Because imagine if they were also a little bit more flexible in terms of even shiny rates. So they're like, you breed 2 shinies, you can get a shiny. But it has to be of, like, certain Pokemon.
Right, you can't, it's not like Ditto status.
Yeah, Ditto can't just be like this ultimate.
So
like,
when I breed, when I breed
whatever.
Trubbish and Ditto and I get Pikachu, what does that mean?
You had trash to begin with.
Yeah.
What is your question?
Pikachu's the ultimate trash.
I know you insult
the biggest trash baby.
Mofos. But no, like, I think that's what I would hope for level 50 is more personal trainer
A
perks.
perk? Yeah.
So
Because-
I have a question.
If
Would
you're-
you prefer that if they did come out with level 50, that you immediately rank up to level 50 because you have that experience,
you have
or do
the
you want to
experience.
rework to it?
No,
I should rework it.
I think they would have to adjust the cap, and they'd probably look at where the max trainer is in the world, like the person with the most XP,
Oh no.
and they do not to say like
That dude, he
But
has like
they-
400 million.
no,
experience.
they would automatically make him the ultimate outlier.
Yeah.
Take that out, then they'd find like the average range where everyone else is, and then find something that would be workable from there.
Right, no. My question was, would you rather work towards it, or would you rather, since you already have the experience there,
As an
just
agent
hit
of
50?
chaos, I would definitely just rather everyone starts at 40 and then has to work their way up.
To 50?
Yeah, it's just like it
redo
resets it.
I would.
Because all the people that are like spamming their lucky eggs, even though they're 40, they have like 120 million experience. Like it would be just hilarious
Oh,
to
yeah,
watch
'cause
them
there's
just like,
nothing there.
I have all the experience. Wah!
Well, that's why I'm saying like I think they'd analyze it. Honestly, I think they'd make the cap for level 50 at like 200 mil, because I haven't come across anyone who is even close to that. I see people like the halfway point, which I think would be good. That way, it gives trainers again the hardcore something to aspire to. Like you're halfway there. Then I'd be like, oh shit! Like that's where I'd be like,
halfway
okay,
there.
because like that trainer, like what the Moors were saying, like this person's just like, oh well, I have a 98 mil, like I'm a boss,
Oh, you're
and
a
I was
bitch.
like, I'm at 112, like,
Gotcha.
and they're like, wait, you are, and I like showed them my
Dude.
phone, they're like, holy
So
shit, and I'm like,
going with your trainer perks idea, like, because I think if they increase the level cap and they just keep it to where like you just level up normally, that'd be kind of lame. It'd be interesting, like if it was more impact. So like if you ended up being level 50 or whatever, you could be a gym leader or something like that. And like if people go, if you go put your Pokemon on the gym, you're the gym leader or whatever. People want to take it, they have to actually battle you. They can't just battle your
Oh,
defender.
that'd be cool. So
and it like
you
would
have
it
to
read
fight-
your, would it, and that would be where they
you
could
probably have to
build.
make a gym leader.
No, it just
Well, no,
instead of the
but it would-
Pokemon on the gym, your trainer's just
Well,
standing
we,
there like.
we were just talking about that though for
Like cross-eyed.
Go Battle. So having it rate your performances. So if you were to become a gym leader, it would have your performance styled down. It would know you, and then it's like, do you want your performance style from Go Battle to translate to this?
No,
Yeah.
I
think
it'd
that'd be kind of cool.
I think it'd be more fun if just whenever you took a gym and you put your trainer up, you could just choose what you wanted that team to be, so you could like stylize it to the.
Would it be
area.
3 or 6?
3?
Still 3 right now because
Okay.
I don't know how to.
Well,
Yeah, a 6
that would
team
be
would be.
A 16
that would be
take too long.
fucking awesome.
But
insane.
yeah, could you imagine just like being
It's
like,
like-
oh, I put it on this cool like water park, so this is a pure water team.
Yeah.
You know, stuff.
Oh
like
my
that.
god.
So I think you should be able to, if you could do that. I
They
think
won't
there'd
do
have
it,
to be-
but
I
it'd
think
be fun.
there'd have to be a lot of like restrictions to that. Like you said, trainer level, you have to be 50 to do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they have that now. So like a perk of being level 40 is that we can request stops.
Stops.
Right.
And that's what I want to see. It just continue on is like more things that higher level trainers are
Yeah.
able to do
I'm
to
just
make
saying-
it like.
Well,
I'm just saying, like, make it worthwhile. I did not care about getting to level 40, and now I'm level 40. I'm like, I'm cool. I can do Pokestops.
So what would you think would happen if multiple level 50s came to a gym and tried to put their trainer down?
They battle it out to figure who's the gym leader. I don't care, dude. Make it.
Well, that'd be sweet if it unlocked special perks like you get to fight Elite Four, which gave you even more Stardust and things of that
Yeah.
nature.
and
ultimately.
maybe they'll have to
Because
actually introduce some semblance of a story.
because you have like the Rockets, you have Giovanni, and you can already fight him as like a filthy casual. So like imagine level 40 people, you get to fight other enemies that are in the Pokemon game. So you get to fight Team Aqua, you get to fight Team whatever, and you get to work up to elites. I think that'd be fucking sweet. Or you
If I
have
could
more
just
access
give it to Archie.
to
Hell yeah, dude.
very similar to what they did for like Go Fest. Maybe level 40 has like other perks that come to the special events. So like, oh, part of like the psychic event, so like Abra Community Day, maybe you get to catch Alakazams in the wild.
Oh, look
Or maybe you get to catch certain legendaries, so like, oh, the legendary dogs are out in the wild now for if you're ever over level 45.
as they should be.
and they could be shiny, and they'll have special movesets. Amazing. Like, I would be all for that. I just think, again, the level 40, I don't want it to affect actual Pokemon, but just to affect what the trainers now have access to. I think would be the move.
It'd give incentive to get to level 40 and higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just...
For the
Otherwise, it's just like, I will naturally earn XP as I do whatever normal-ass shit I usually do, and it doesn't... Yeah, just like, whatever, dude. I can beat it once a day and still get 100 XP. Like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, oh, actually getting there might be worthwhile challenge, and once I'm there, I get to do cool shit.
Yeah, like, especially if they
reference.
have things like, I get to breed my Pokemon.
Hell yeah.
That'd be amazing. Or if they're like, promise some more bag space, like, you'll get this at this level, or once you get past level 40, you can then have more, better purchases at your store.
Okay.
Your in-game store increases to whatever, so your bag space increases because you're clearly playing. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Personally, it just boggles my mind that they don't have these kind of things in the game yet. Like, I feel like Niantic has a lot of, like, room to grow, and they're not taking that advantage of it.
It's because they wasted time on the Harry Potter game. Like,
Y'all damn
yeah,
wizard
like,
nerds.
Like, they're trying to maximize their pot there. I understand that's profits, but, like...
Big profits.
Is it really turning out the way it is? Like, I haven't seen any people just out playing Harry Potter. But again, like you said, it's more of a solo-based game, so these individuals... There's community events, but it's like, we're a community, but don't come near me.
You just wait until they develop a My Hero game where you get a hero, you get a quirk.
I would play that.
A Niantic My Hero game.
That would just be like, you'd have like a 1 in 10 chance to actually roll a good quirk, and then the rest of them
That's
like,
it.
Can create water.
Hell yeah, dude.
You're gonna have people restarting that.
I can squirt mayo from my eyes.
Oh god.
Hell yeah. Hey man, I got a good restaurant.
You'll have like the ultimate Becky's like, I can make good avocado toast. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah.
But no, like, that's what I'm hoping for the future, again, for the level caps. For battling, better movesets. The Elite TM is what we were asking for, basically. Like, give us something to activate the old movesets. But again, battling things, adding a second first move or fast move,
Yep.
I think would be great. So then your Pokemon has 4 moves.
I want that on top of... I want AR battling too.
I want to be able to use items in battle.
Okay, you're a bitch.
We fight like real
If I
Jack.
but again, not
You attack, no defense, no items.
Again, not like a fuck ton of items. Like, you get 1 item per Pokemon, like you do for like the battle tower. So you could use a revive, or you could use a berry to boost it, or you can use like a special defense thing. Just 1.
Jack, we fight like real men. We don't guard. We don't defend. We just attack.
Just attack.
That's usually what I do. But I think it'd be cool to have items, because like, what's the point of all the different types of berries? Because a lot of it just sits there.
If you get items though, you kind of just run into the game becomes more challenging or more strategic, I guess, on a fighting level. And I think they wanted to avoid that, so it's not like an actual Pokemon game, more just the mobile counterpart.
I suppose.
Well, because it's still strategy, even with the battling. Like, you have load times for how often you can switch.
Right.
You have all that.
It's not as extensive as the actual video games.
Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna set up my trick room and then hit you with a sweeper. Like,
yeah, there's no. Well, you can't sweep, but not in the same way.
Oh, I can't.
I was about to say, I have Pokemon like coming in through people. Like,
no, but
it's not the sweeping.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just. Well, I guess just going back to the future stuff. So
it's not a Magikarp flail.
What else? The trade thing. Just getting rid of this whole
global trade. Just let it happen.
Give us global trading.
Give me another level too. Give me the global trading system.
Give us the Pokélocker.
Like the original global trade system, where you put up a Pokemon that you want, and then you put one that you're willing to trade for.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be cool.
It'd be easy. We were talking about a Pokélocker of sorts, very similar to that. Where if you have a lucky friend and you're trying to trade with them, that you just put the Pokemon you want, and they can activate it when they're ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we have lucky friends in like St. Louis or whatever. I can't talk to them. They're not on my Discords. I never got their number, and like I can't send them a message in game. I can't even send a trade request. I can battle them. Maybe they're not going to understand that I want to trade with them if I say, "Hey, battle me." So, like, there needs to be some kind of system in play. I think they should do global trading. GTS would be fun. But yeah.
Yeah. Or again, just like an in-game messaging system where you have like a little inbox but you only have
can
like
only
a certain
speak in
number of
emojis.
requests.
Yeah, they did that in the original one where they give you like a template and just like you could choose like 5 to 6 words, but each words came from like a dictionary basically.
Yeah.
Where you just gotta choose and you'd be like, I'm ready to fight. And
Yeah.
it's like all clunky and weird, but it didn't let you say your own stuff, so you couldn't say profanity or nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
But
like that.
Come get your back blown out.
Mm-hmm. But like I feel like they can do some sort of communication, especially now with COVID. I think that's what they should be moving to.
Yeah,
is something of that.
I think
nature
a
to be able to talk to
prescription-based
people
text system would make a lot of sense in terms of keeping it child-friendly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or, like I said, just emoji. Like, you can send the dude literally just a stamp that says, please trade. Or trade ready or something like that.
Yeah, the stamp system would be awesome because they could do Pokemon emojis. And they'd be like, show Pikachu doing, let's battle, or Magikarp going, let's trade, I think that'd be cute.
Yeah, like really easy stuff just within the confines of the game, I think would be great. And I'm hoping with COVID that this is really putting the pressure on Niantic to start to release things, because we clearly saw once COVID came how quick they could adjust. Maybe it's because they have the pressure on them, and I hope that they continue to make those good adjustments going forward. So, what about you? What are you hoping for?
I hope all these filthy casuals get out of my game.
Okay, I feel
No, really. It's just all the stuff we kind of discussed right there. Global trading, breeding. I think that all should be... I think being locked behind a trainer perk might not be a bad idea. You can't breed until you're 45 or something. Might be interesting. I think it's coming. I want to see advancements in the battle system in general. I'm not sure if like making it overly complicated in terms of like trying to strategize would make it helpful, but I would like to see smaller things. Like
quality of life, right?
Well, quality of life too, but I mean I still want to see status effects. But again, maybe if you do status effects, you might
about
need
like
to do
best
items.
buddy perks?
I'm not sure.
like where it's like it can get hit with a super effective move, but it's like it held on because
it keeps the 1 health or whatever.
Yeah, like
except for in Pokemon Go, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's the thing. I've had many 1 healths where they give me like I had what was it? I think it was like a Mewtwo or something. Like did like a side shock to my Machamp.
Okay.
And it survived enough to hit it and knock it out.
The
And I was like,
only way I could think, but it would be completely broken, is if it like auto shielded, like without using your shield.
Oh, but that had to be like a crazy.
That's what I said. Like it'd be completely broken, and it had to be super RNG. Like you couldn't just do it every battle. Like
like the best buddy. Well, yeah, that would be I think feasible because they do that with like the effects. Like Ancient Power won't always raise your defense and attack.
Yeah.
If you use it. I've had a battle where I used Omastar and he did it 8 times and it never showed.
Yeah.
And then one Togekiss does it once and I get it and I'm like, fuck you, Togekiss.
Yeah, but I think my point was just like something, because like shields would be broken. Like,
oh yeah.
Honestly. But maybe something like that, though. I think it'd be interesting. Or like a half shield.
Or it sidesteps and takes half the damage.
Something like that.
He's like,
that might be interesting.
Not today, Satan.
That, like I said, it's just like little things like that I would like to see. Outside of that, just keep all the quality of life changes are in the game right now. Keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when we quote return back to normalcy unquote, like just keep it. Keep the spawns the way they're at. Though I know they'll probably go back to normal incubator distances because it would make their super incubators useless. But shit like that, I think it'd be great. Keep some of the remote stuff in play. In terms of like I can battle you from afar if I'm only good friends with you. I think that's more than fine. Yeah, that's all I got on my pea brain for now. You got anything else before I wrap it up?
I
safe
think,
out there.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Stay home. I would also just hope all the friend stuff just improves. Like they take out these trade limits. We had talked about the trade distance, but I think also just like special trades.
Oh yeah.
I think if you catch it, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want with it personally. But
Okay.
It'd be sweet if they brought in trade backs.
Trade backs? Like, I want that back.
Yeah, like if you could trade someone a Pokemon or trade a Pokemon you've traded, I think that'd be cool. But again, I don't know how that would play out.
Who knows? Only time will tell.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
You got anything, Remy?
Don't be a bitch. That's Remy's quote.
Don't be a bitch.
Stay inside and stay safe, like as you guys have said.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well.
All right, we're out then.
We out.
Bye.